What is up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to the Matt Ramage Show. I am over here with Mr. RevTrev from Kemper Sports, one of the great podcasts. Maybe you never heard of it. If you didn't, you should check them out. But we are here. I got my big hat on for people watching on YouTube or on the Facebook, wherever you're watching. And for the people who watch or listening on the audio, I appreciate you. This is not live. This is a pre-recorded. I'm trying to do like my podcasts and my lives a little bit differently so that the podcasts are like more lined up for people listening in their car or wherever they're listening to. It kind of sounds better. But big shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. All right, the Quick Trip Packers Points is coming to an end. I think it's January. I think it's 14th. Let me just check this real quick. It's January 14th. The Packers Points come to an end. So make sure, you got the New Year's Eve parties coming up. Make sure you get your stuff in Quick Trip. Use the Quick Rewards app and get those Packer points. You can get win a tailgate with Charlie Barons. You can win they're giving away a truck. They're giving away all types of cool stuff. So make sure you're hammering away at the Quick Trip Packers Points. Spend your money over there. Nowhere better to spend it. And let's get after this thing. Big shout out to Quick Trip. Love the Quick Trip. The chicken spicy sandwich I just tried the other day with Swiss cheese. It was a beautiful thing. First time trying it. But let's get after this thing. What is up, Mr. RevTrev? How you doing today? You like my hat?
I love it, actually. Yeah, actually, where'd you get it? That's what I want to know. I'm like, I need that one. I need that in my life.
They have these at the Packer Pro Shop. I went there one day to find one. They didn't have it, and then like someone sent it to me as a gift, and I was like, dude, I gotta have this thing. It's not really ideal to wear all the time. It is extremely large for people. People listen to a podcast. It's one of those big old hats that Jaire Alexander was wearing not that long ago. We'll talk about him here in a second. But did you have a good Christmas?
I had an amazing Christmas, man. It was super fun. In fact, I've got a question for you regarding Quick Christmas. So my wife went Black Friday shopping, and she found smoking deals on Packers gear and gave it to me for Christmas, which I was excited, right? But it was a white Aaron Rodgers jersey. And so my question to you is this. When can I wear it, Matt? When can I wear a white or any Aaron Rodgers jersey? Like, I don't know about you. When he left for me, I'm like, I'm done until he retires. Because he's my favorite of all time. So what do you think?
For me, and until he retires, I wouldn't wear it. I don't blame anyone who does wear it because I got no hate for Aaron Rodgers. Like, I still got love for the dude. And, like, every, like, foreign player, like, I don't hate players unless they disrespect Green Bay. Like, there's a few, like, Ryan Longwell, few guys that left the Packers and were like, Ryan Longwell said something like eating fine dinner in Green Bay is Olive Garden or something. He said something. So at that moment, for me, Ryan Longwell was like dead to me. Like, I don't wish him any harm, but like I was like, he's done. No, but Aaron Rodgers, he's been saying nothing but good things about the Packers, Green Bay. And I got no hate for Aaron Rodgers, but I don't wear like when Brett Favre left. I was the biggest Brett Favre supporter like forever. Like when he played, I went to war. Brady was young then. People were like, Brady's better. I was like, to hell with Brady. And I was like, I was all in on Brett Favre. But when he played for the Vikings, I roasted him. I made jokes about him. I would not wear – I really didn't wear Brett Favre jerseys back then anyways. I don't like wearing the popular jerseys. I don't like wearing like the, like the in player. I like to wear like the kind of like the player nobody else is wearing. But like after Aaron Rodgers retires, he'll come back to Green Bay. They'll put him in the Ring of Honor. He's going to come back. Everyone's going to love him again. But when he's playing in New York, I wouldn't wear his jersey. I won't hate on him. I'm not going to trash him. But like I think while he's in New York, that he's got the number 8. I'm not going to do it. But like I say, I won't trash anyone who does. But like I think after he comes back is when we like, show him the love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel the same way. Yeah. But I feel like my next video, I just got to bust it out. But I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, nobody watches my stuff anyway, so it's not like I'm going to get it.
Well, my wife got me a Reggie White jersey, and Reggie White was like the jersey that I always said I would never wear, and not because of him, because it was back in the day, everyone had it. It was like the most popular jersey, even probably more than Brett Favre even. Back in the everyone. You go to Lambeau Field today, you're gonna, or like the next game, you're gonna see some faded out Reggie White jerseys they bought back when I was 9. Not 9, but I'm not that old. But but like back when I was a teenager, and I always try to stay away from those popular jerseys. I always wanted to find that like Preston Smith. You go to Lambeau Field, I don't know why that is, but there's not a lot of Preston Smith jerseys, and I feel like I was trying to change that. It didn't work out. But Reggie White is one of the great Packers. I'll rock it. And my wife got me a Jayden Reed jersey, but it was a medium.
Nice. That's nice.
They sent the wrong size. I tried to put it on a medium, bro. I'm gonna be looking like that thing's gonna be stretched. So we had to.
Yeah. I eat men's small for breakfast.
Yeah. We had because it had the right size on the bag, but the jersey on the inside they screwed up. Christmas is busy, they make mistakes. But yeah, I try to throw on a medium jersey. I'm gonna have that thing stretched. Nobody wants to see the full, the full physique. Something's got to be a secret. But Jayden Reed, that's a great jersey. I think Jayden Reed. I think he's gonna be a big dude. He's not as big as my gut, but he's gonna have a big career over here in Green Bay. He's a guy I'm really looking for.
Me too.
We'll talk about this Packers offense here in a little bit, but let's talk about Mr. Jaire Alexander, because I think we disagree a little bit, not completely, but we disagree a little bit. But let me hear your take. The Packers suspend Jaire Alexander. The story is, everyone knows the story that he went out there on the coin toss. He wasn't named a captain. He kind of made himself a captain. It seems to me like his teammates were with it. They kind of it seems to me like they were he was like, hey, I'm from Carolina. I'm from wherever over here. And they're like, just come on out. That's kind of how it seems to me. Like, they're like, just come on out. And then, so he did. And then he kind of muffed it a little bit, said the wrong words. The words are stupid to me anyways, like defer, whatever, the whole thing. But I think that I'll let you talk, but the whole thing kind of got screwed up. He ended up getting suspended for a game, a really important game. So what are your thoughts on this? I kind of saw, because I did check in on your YouTube. Everyone should check it out, Kemper Sports. But I did watch a little bit of what you had to say. But let the people know your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so I'm really bold about this. I'm quite ticked off, to be honest with you. I think the Jaire suspension is absolutely stupid. Everything about it, Matt, is stupid in my opinion. Now, I agree. I think that Jaire going out there pretending to be a captain, stupid. What the heck are you thinking, Jaire? Mentally, you got to check yourself, okay? You don't just say, oh, I'm going out. Oh, my teammates are going to back me up. You're stupid to do that. I also think what he said was stupid to the ref, because the ref has to and that's where everyone gets angry, Matt, is that they're all just sitting there going, well, he could have. Well, it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah.
So the coin toss didn't matter, right? So that was stupid too. And then the suspension is stupid. We are in the biggest game of the year, and we're going to suspend our best defensive player on the field. Are you kidding me? I don't know if you know this, everyone, but there's a guy named Jefferson and another guy named Addison who are on the other side of the field. And you need that elite guy in there. And so that's why I think that is just stupid. Find the guy, find Jaire. He made a mistake. He did something stupid. Cool. And everyone's like, well, he's not going to learn. Listen, he's not going to learn anyways. He's larger than life. He thinks he's King Dingling. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what he thinks, because he is one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL. He's not going to learn from this mistake at all. What's he going to do? I'm not going to go out there and pretend to be a captain again. Okay. He was not going to do that again anyways. He's not bigger than the team. Everyone's all raging mad. It's I just do not agree with a lot of people. So I don't know what your take is, Matt, but that is my very quick take, that everything about it is stupid, especially the suspension. You should not be I don't know. Okay, this is my last piece to it, Matt.
All right.
Okay, get this. He got suspended for having actions detrimental to the team. What about actions detrimental to the playoffs, you morons? Think about this. Okay, we're going to sit Jaire Alexander Don't worry. They have two of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Don't worry. Let's just sit them out. We've won games without them before. Are you kidding me right now? So are we trying to make the playoffs? That's my question. Are we trying to make playoffs? Fine them. Don't suspend.
We are definitely. Yeah, because like one point you made about he's not gonna do it again anyways, because like I've been written up before at work for throwing cheese. Right. One time
Wisconsin? How is that even? That must be against the law.
I work at a cheese factory. One time someone threw a little cheese curd at me, hit me in the face, hit me in the eyeball. Not my good eye too. I didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? So I took a big old piece of cheese and threw it in a table away, and it splashed up on him. Dude told on me. I got written up for it. And I'm like, okay. I wasn't gonna. It's not like it's something I do every day, anyway. So like, I don't care. I'm not gonna do it again because you have so much time after a write up to like not do it again. Like, I'm never gonna do that again. So I kind of get that point of view because that's not a situation that's gonna pop up again. But my thing is I'm very pro player. I back the players 100%, even when I shouldn't. I always back the players. But Jaire, I kind of get the suspension if there were some back things because the Packers don't suspend players like ever. Like, I don't know the last time they suspended a player. I'm sure people, got stats on that. I don't have them. But, like, they don't suspend players. So there's got to be something in the background. Maybe he was doing too much, and they had to be like, all right, you're doing too much. And I think if you deem a player needs suspension, I don't think you should look at who they're playing next because if you do that, you'll never suspend anyone. Because, I mean, I wouldn't say it's always a big game because this is a bigger game than, like, week 12. Whatever, or week 8. This is a big game. Like the playoffs are on the line. They have to win out. Can a flashback to my fantasy football championship. We'll talk about that later. But like it's always like a big game. If you deem, because everyone talks about like, oh, LaFleur's losing the locker room. They're losing the locker room. And then they're like, and then a lot of people say that about this. And then I'm like, well, I think is him trying not to lose locker room, like not letting players just do whatever they want. And I'm very pro player, so like I find it hard to like side against a player, but I feel like if they deem that it was worth a suspension, there's got to be more to it because they don't just suspend players willy-nilly in Green Bay, and especially like a Jaire Alexander, who I think brings life to this team, not just a defense, to this team. Like he's got that swag. I love the swag. I love his whole demeanor and his whole like, have fun. And he's, his interviews, he's got the big hat on. He's doing all the things. And I love that. But there's got to be some more to it. And I just don't feel like they would suspend him just for that coin toss because all he did, I don't care about he almost screwed it up because he didn't. You know what I mean? That's like I was speeding. I almost got pulled over. I didn't get a ticket. So like I don't care about what he almost did, but like I think it was more about he went against, like you weren't picked. And you got to think, why wasn't he picked as a captain? Was there a reason? Because every time a player plays in his hometown, they're a captain. Like that is just part, because I don't think the captains are like these are special players. They just kind of pick guys who are kind of maybe playing good, but it's not always about playing good. I feel like they just pick guys. But if it's your hometown, it seems like that's the week you're a captain because it's your hometown, your family's there, your friends are there, everyone's there, your high school coach is probably there watching, and they didn't pick him for a reason. Like maybe there's some kind of background misunderstandings or like some kind of, I wouldn't say beef, but just like some stuff going on. So I don't know. I feel like you can't do that. You can't let players just do whatever they want, especially like you can't say, well, we would suspend them, but we're not going to because we have a tough opponent coming up. So, but like I'm kind of in the middle on it because I think it's horrible that this is a week that he's needed probably more than any game this season because he missed a lot of games. And I'm not going to buy into that. Well, they won a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, but they won some games without him. He wasn't there. Well, they weren't playing Justin Jefferson at all those games. Like this is a big game. But also I feel like there's got to be more to it than just a coin toss. It has to be like he's been roughing going against the coach, and maybe I don't want to guess or assume, but there's got to be some more behind the scenes type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm okay. I understand that that's what a lot of people are saying, and I appreciate that. But I'm just going by what Gutekunst has said. And what he said was it was only about what he did on the field before the game. That's all he said. And if you look at the statement again, that's exactly what it is. So if there's other things, they didn't say it. Also, you don't say, well, he should get suspended, but we're gonna fine him instead. What you say is like, we are very disappointed. He's been fined, but he will be playing on Sunday. Then everyone would be happy. Just saying, I don't think a coin toss going there as a captain deserves a suspension. That's just me.
Yeah. No, and I get that. If it's just that, I think it's weird. But I feel like in the offseason, we're going to find out a lot of stuff about the season.
That's
true. The offseason players get chatty. They end up being a podcast, not mine.
You should invite him on here.
Yeah, I get a few players every now and again, but not no controversial players. It's usually the players that just want to say hi, and I asked them like where they went to high school, who their favorite team was. Never like no controversial stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm willing. Jaire, you want to come talk?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have at it. Let's have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Jaire, I'll even have you on my huge channel too.
Yeah, dude, we can do it together. Let's do it. We'll have a what do they call that? Anyways, co-op.
Yeah, we'll collab. But here's the thing: we'd have to learn not to be like fanboys. It's like, oh my gosh, he's on here,
dude. It's funny because like I had like Preston Smith, like a Kenny Clark, I've had some cool guys on here, and every time I just got drunk because it's hard to do it, and it's funny because I always just. That's kind of my flex. Not that I had the players on, but I was like, how many people interviewed Preston Smith drunk? Like Adrian Amos was up. I was drunk, not hammered. I was about like where I am right now. I'm having a good time. But like, you got to get loose a little bit. Otherwise, I get nervous like interviewing people.
Full disclaimer: I'm drinking H2O. That's it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm drinking Coors Light. People say it's water.
That's not H2O.
I know, but you have 18
I'm actually got H2O in a Starbucks cup. That's all.
In a Starbucks cup, you're classing up a little bit. You know what I mean? But all right. So we got some more stuff to talk about, but I do want to give a little shout out to everyone. My following, we raised over $6,000 for a GoFundMe. A guy at my work found out his daughter has leukemia. So they had to GoFundMe going. So I shared it on my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. I shared it all over the place. And we ended up raising over $6,000, but it's still going. We surpassed their goal. They put the goal at 5,000, but he's still out of work. His wife's out of work, caring for their kid. From what I hear, like, I don't want to get into their medical situation, like, sharing too much, but like, she seems to be doing pretty good. She's battling, like he was telling me. I talked to him a little bit. She's a tough kid. And kids are like really resilient, because if I had to deal with that, dude, I'd be such a wuss about it. I would be such a crybaby about it. I get a cold and I'm done. Like, I call in, I stub my toe a little bit, but she's been battling and she's doing real good. And I don't know what the future holds. Hopefully all the good things. But I want to say thank you to everyone who shared it and everyone who donated. We are giving away a jersey, Packer Access. My guy Clayton from the Packernet podcast. What do you call it? The Packernet podcast. He's part of that. He donated. Someone else is going to donate a Devontae Adams autographed jersey. I'm probably going to raffle off in the future. Whether that GoFundMe is over by then or not, we're going to give that money to them. But big thanks to everyone who helped raise money. Like I say, whether you donate or you shared or whatever you did, I appreciate everyone, because that was awesome that we were able to do that. It's cool to use like the following and like have like a little bit of reach and use that for good. That's what I've always wanted to do. And it's good for the world.
She beats cancer, and Matt, just well done, man. Well done rallying the troops. Good job.
No, I think it's good when you have a situation where you can, like Tom Gross, he does it. He like does all these good things. And I actually talked to him about that, like back in the day, where I was like, how do you do that? I was like, because I just don't have like obviously the following that he does. But like he was telling me, he's like, it doesn't matter whether you raise $65,000 or whatever the stuff he does, or if you raise $100 or $5, it's money that wasn't there to begin with. So he was actually a big inspiration, and not just for this. It was easy. It was like, share it, even if you don't have a following. It's like I just think it's the right thing to do, and hopefully she's good, and shout out to them. You know what I mean? But all right, so we'll move on to some more chipper topics here. But I want to talk about, because a lot of people talking about Matt LaFleur. Is he on the hot seat? And well, I'll get your take on this first. Do you think Matt LaFleur is any way, shape, or form on the hot seat?
I don't think he is on the hot seat, to be honest. I think that he will replace Joe Barry at the end of the season. We never fire mid-season, so we're not going to start now.
Yeah, it's very rare.
So that's my personal take. I think Matt LaFleur is a very good coach. If he gets fired from the Green Bay Packers, he'll have a job within 2 days somewhere else. Like that, he is very good. Now his weaknesses would be that he's loyal to a fault to the team that he's built around him, and I think that's admirable. I'm like that as well. I'll go with the sinking ship with a friend, because you're like, oh, I think we can turn this around now. So I don't think he's in the hot seat. That's just my quick take on it.
Yeah. So Matt LaFleur, like with Joe Barry, it seems like it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's robbing his guy, but like the thing with Joe Barry, like he's his contract ends. Like I've been screaming this on Facebook. His contract ends at the end of the year. He's not coming back. Can you imagine Matt LaFleur walking into Gutekunst or Mark Murphy, however the situation had to go? Like, hey, what do you guys think? Another 2-year deal for him? Like, what are you talking about? It wouldn't happen. I absolutely don't think Matt LaFleur is in a hot seat, though. I think that first of all, you got Jordan Love, who's been in his offense for 3 years on a bench. Now he's starting. Looking good. Everyone's happy except for the folks on Facebook. They're devastated.
Yeah, they're crazy.
There are people on Facebook are out of this world. I don't even want to talk about it. Maybe at the end of this thing, I might rant about these people. I mean, most of them are good. 95% of them are outstanding. Big part of my following. Big part of the people who watch and follow me, and I love them. But like 5% of them are freaking mad. But I don't think that you would say, hey, Jordan Love has been in his offense. He's thriving. All right. Well, Aaron Jones missed some times. Christian Watson is missing time. A lot of rookies he's throwing to, which a lot of these rookies are going to be stars, I think. But nevertheless, these are young receivers, and he's thriving. So now you're going to take his coach away. Now you're going to take the offense away. You're going to have him learn a new offense. That'd be stupid. They're not going to do that. You replace the defensive coordinator. They cannot miss on that defensive coordinator. I've been saying, people are throwing out names. Like, I don't care about the name because I don't know who the guy that you replace him with. There's a lot of names out there. I say just don't miss, because with the right defensive coordinator, this team is ready to win now. This is not people talked about a rebuild, and it was a little mini rebuild. I never called it a rebuild, though, because a rebuild, like, I live in a house, you live in a house probably, right? If you rebuild your house, what do? You tear it down. You tear it down. Maybe you keep the basement. That's it. You tear it down. That's what a rebuild is. Restoration is like, yeah, let's keep the walls. So I call this Packers season like a restoration. They had to fix some stuff, maybe tear a room down here and there, rip the toilet out, do some stuff. But it wasn't a total rebuild. The defense, I thought, should have been better. I thought it was going to be better. And if it was better, the defense would have been just average. I think that this season would have been a lot different. But like, we could have talked about woulda, coulda, woulda. But I think that this Packers defense has the players. That's what's so devastating to me. Like, they got like Rashawn Gary. Obviously, the secondary is a situation, especially with Jaire missing time. Now he's suspended. But like that pass rush, I feel like is there. Wasn't always there. They didn't always get there this season. But I feel like they got a really good parts of this defense. But this offense, I feel like it's what you want. You got 2 star tight ends, I think, for the future. The receiving group, I think, is good. Maybe they add some stuff in the next couple of years. But like, I feel like they got a good core of young guys. Jordan Love, I think, is that dude. The running backs, you got Aaron Jones, you got A.J. Dillon. I don't know what they're going to do at running back next year. Is Aaron Jones. I don't know, like, the whole contract situation, but I don't think Aaron Jones is done. But I'm very excited about this offense. Get a new defensive corner. I want a defensive corner who's just like a tough guy, not like not to say Joe Barry's not a tough guy. I mean, I don't mean tough guy like he needs to beat people up, but like I mean like someone who's just like got that ferocious mentality, not like the guy, but his scheme. Because like I don't think many defensive corners out there just beating people up, but like their scheme has to be like those Pittsburgh Steelers defenses, like that Ravens defenses that people even the Bears like that just punch you in the face type of defenses. Get a defensive coordinator that has that mentality. I think that even like the Packers in 2010, like they had that even like when the Packers first got Preston and Za'Darius and Amos that year, they were all having fun. They were flying after the ball. Get that. Like you got Rashawn Gary, like let's take advantage, get after the quarterback. And I think that this team is going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like who's the coach for the Jets? Soleil? Is that his name?
Yeah. I think it's spelled really weird, but I think that's how you
anyways,
say it.
When he was the defensive coordinator, was it for the 49ers? And
I'm not sure where he was.
Wherever he was, I think it was 49ers. It's like, boy, this guy looks mean. And it's like it's like the Detroit Lions right now. They like play smash mouth football.
Yeah.
Like you need a defensive coordinator. Now the problem is those guys have jobs, right? Especially the head coach for the Jets. He's not coming. Like, and if Jim Harbaugh comes out of Michigan, he's going to be a head coach. He's not going to be a defensive coordinator. But you need to find a guy like that, not who can make the defense ferocious. I think that if we had a better defensive coordinator, we'd be in the playoffs, no problem. We would have won at least one or two more games, and we'd be in and not on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, and for the people who are mentioning Bill Belichick's name, like forget it. Bill Belichick. I've seen this name thrown around, and Bill Belichick is not going to be a defensive coordinator nowhere.
No,
he's not going to work for Matt LaFleur, and I have no disrespect against Matt LaFleur, but Bill Belichick is the most winningest coach of our time. The only one that you can compare him to is like Lombardi and like the guys when there wasn't all these teams. Like Bill Belichick is that dude. And he's not going to work for Matt LaFleur. He's not going to work for any coach in the NFL. He's going to be a head coach, or he's going to go watch his kids play volleyball or whatever they do. I know like his daughter's like a professional or something, but he talks about it once in a while. But he's not going to be a defensive coordinator anywhere. And he's like 117 years old. Maybe he'll just retire. Doesn't seem like. I think he's probably going to coach till the day he dies. But Bill Belichick is not going to be a defensive coordinator for the Packers. I wouldn't mind it, but there'll be a lot of time this offseason to talk about who's going to be the defensive coordinator. I have no idea, but I want it to be someone tough. I want it to be someone who's got that. And I feel like that the first couple of years that you have a new defensive coordinator, that they come after it, like every year, like, because everyone's excited. Hey, new defense, they're getting after it. But sometimes it's just time for a change. The Joe Barry scene, like, it just annoys me too. Like anytime you talk about the Packers, anything, they're like, oh, Joe Barry needs to be fired. Like, we get it, bro. Like, we get it. No, Joe Barry needs to be gone. Like, he's gonna be gone. And I get people saying like, why wait? You should fire him. Why wait till the end of the season? But that's what they're doing. They're waiting.
Yeah.
They decided.
That's a good point, Matt. Like, okay, so I find that people don't have good comments because it's like, we need to just fire him or trade him. Like, that's the solution. Every fan base has people. That's all they say. It's a results-based business. Just fire him. And it's like, okay, I'm cool if you fire this guy or trade him, but who are you replacing him with? What are the solutions? Because it's like, okay, so we fired Joe Barry, and what? Like, who's replacing him? Is it now Matt LaFleur is going to be taking that over? Is it a different one of the defensive coordinators? Is he just going to install the same thing that's going, like, what? Who's coming in? And that's the problem, is there's no solutions.
Yeah, and my thing is, like, if the players on defense are coming into Matt LaFleur and saying this guy sucks, and like, we're not playing at our best because he's the defense coordinator. Now, if that's happening, they should just fire him. They should just say, we'll figure it out, bring the linebacker, whatever. Have a players only meeting. Like, what do you guys want to do? Like, how do you think we should handle this? But if they're not doing that, then like I get, like, say if they're thinking like we don't, because I fully believe that Matt LaFleur, Mark Murphy, Gutekunst, whoever handles those decisions, which I assume is those three, they've had these conversations where like that next year we're going to go in our direction. Like this isn't good enough. So like, but they had to have those conversations. Then they had to have who would replace him if we fight him now. If they feel like there's no one on his defensive staff that is going to be better or change it, because I assume that they can call defensive plays. They wouldn't have their jobs if they did. And if they can't, then they hired some horrible people. I don't know all the people. I don't know what they can do. I don't know their skill sets. But if they can't call defensive plays, then they failed to begin with. But if they think, well, it's the same scheme, that's what these guys do, we're going to keep the best guy that does the scheme there. But like I say, if the players are coming up and saying, what are we doing here? Like, this sucks, and we don't like this. We're not thriving because of this. Then I could see firing them and then just see what happens, because you don't want to lose the locker room. You don't want to lose those guys, whatever their fight or whatever. But I don't know that that's happening, because I feel like guys like Jaire, a lot of guys in that locker room, they're vocal. They're not scared to talk. Like, players today can go on any podcast. Well, they can come on mine. I won't even talk. Like, you guys just talk. Tell me what to ask. I'll just let you talk. I'll just stand there looking stupid. No, but they can go on like ESPN. They can go on any podcast they want, or they can go on Twitter. They can go on Instagram, whatever they want to do. They could talk. Players today aren't scared to talk. So I'm not sure that that's actually happening. I'm not saying that they all love it, but they're not. I'm not sure that they're being vocal. Maybe they are behind closed doors, because I don't think that fans know at all what's going on behind closed doors. Like, people like to say, well, they're losing the locker room, they're losing this. No one knows what's going on inside the locker room. Exactly. I mean, we can guess. We can have a pretty good, like, I have a feeling, because I have a feeling it's not all hunky-dory in there. They're not all over there having a picnic inside 1265. Yeah, whenever you're like a team that's not thriving, playing as good as, first of all, as you think you should play, they're not all lovey-dovey. But I also don't think that they're in there just screaming at each other, like having a, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, they're all battling, fighting each other. I don't think it's as bad as people think. It's probably not as good as other people think, but I think that defense gets rearranged next year, and they get a new boss man over there. And yeah, it's a mess. I think if that defense was playing up to the potential, like you say, if they had a different defensive coordinator, I think this team would be a lot different, because the offense, I feel like, is doing enough. Especially later on in the season, because we expect up and downs, because, you know, new quarterback, first year starting, young receivers, young tight ends, pretty much young every skill position. But they've been thriving in the last few, 3-4 weeks, what do you want? And so that defense has really been struggling, which sucks. I like so many of those defensive players. I don't even like talking bad, because I love these guys. Like, I feel like Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, that I feel like they got a good pass rush. You got Van Ness over there. Like, they got some guys. The secondary, gets a little, I wouldn't say sketchy, but like they're
just not experienced.
Yeah.
You think about it, you got Valentine, and I think Ballantyne is the other name, right? Aren't they like?
Yeah, Valentine and Ballantyne. How are the guy named Valentine and a guy named Ballantyne on the same team? Yeah, exactly. And I'm supposed to say their name, right?
Well, no, it's helping us out. It's helping us out.
It's helping me pronounce my B's. Yeah. When I do game stream, I go Ballantyne. You got to really pronounce that B.
Yeah, you got to hit it. You got to hit it. Yeah. No. So I think like our big criticism was our safeties, right? And apparently Owens has emerged, which is great.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who he was. And by the way, that whole controversy with Simone Biles and what he was saying, he is a complete, like, seriously, dude, come on, you got to stop that. That was embarrassing. Saying that who? Like, are you the greatest Olympian of all time? And you're like, who? What? Come on. Now, I think he was joking around a little bit. But anyways, the point being was he was surprised. Like, I didn't even know who he was, honestly, before the season started, which is great that he's played well. But, Valentine, so great that they came out and they've played good. But Stokes just came back. He's been injured for so long. Now Jaire's back. Well, for one game. And then, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't understand why we traded Douglas away. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But we did. And we got to work it out. And we got to win the next 2 games. That's all that matters.
Yeah, see, I don't get why they traded Rasul Douglas, except for at that time that they thought, hey, we're not heading in the right direction. by the time we think we will be heading in the right direction, he's not going to be here anyway, so we might as well get some for him. And then talk about that, about the Owens and the Simone Biles thing. I won't lie, before the season, I didn't know either of them. Like, I didn't know who Simone Biles was. And like my wife, like when she came here, because I'm not an Olympic person, I'm not like I love her. I think she's great. She reminds me of my sister. Like her energy, she's small. My sister's like a semifinalist for the Olympics. My sister's a runner. She's an athlete. She reminds me because she's small, like and just because the videos I seen of her on the sideline, how she's running up, and she reminds me a lot of my sister. But I didn't know who she was because I'm not an Olympic person. But I didn't know who he was either. But I'm glad he's prospering. He's doing good. I'm glad that she's part of the team because I think she's awesome. And I think it's cool, like get a little attention. And she seems like an awesome person. But I didn't know who she was, and that's not disrespect. I think it's funny when people say that, like, you don't know someone, because like someone on Instagram, I was arguing with them. It was like an older person. And they're like, "How do you not know who Simone Biles is?" I asked them. I said, "Do you know who Mr. Beast is?" And they're like, "Oh, no." I'm like, "He's the most famous YouTuber ever," which
it's just
doesn't
what
make
your
you.
Interest is in.
It's just like where you're surrounded. Like, there's YouTubers I'd never heard of. I know Mr. Beast because he gives away stuff, and I like free stuff. So I'm like, hey, let me get out of this. You know what I mean? No, but like, you don't know. I don't know everybody. Like, I don't know. People like comment on me like, who is this guy? Like, yeah, that doesn't hurt my feelings, bro. Most people in the world don't know who I am. Like, my mom barely recognizes me. So like, I'm not mad at this dude on Facebook because he doesn't know who I am. But I don't know. But I love Simone Biles, and I'm glad she's part of the Packer family, and I hope Owens is around for a long time. Plus, big shout out to Rudy Ford. Rudy Ford's my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think this defense will be a lot better next year. You know what I mean? But
check your private chat.
Yeah, I got that. All right.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I wish the defense was better, but they're not. And I don't know. What do you think about this game coming up, Matt? Because we got the Vikings. We're at the U.S. Bank Stadium. Like, it's on the road. And obviously so thankful that they're going with Jaire Hall, right? Like when all the Vikings fans are rejoicing because they're like, we're switching quarterbacks. It's like, you've just gone to your fourth string quarterback, the fifth round pick. Now granted, they've got everyone else and they look really healthy and they look good, but man, I'm predicting it's going to be a 23-21 victory for the Packers. I just think we find a way. I mean, maybe part of me is just like, I'm hopeful, like we have to win this game. I'm very nervous about this game. Like if we got 30 points put up against us against the stinking Panthers, I'm like, oh my gosh, we could lose this. So I'm not sure who's going to win, but my prediction is we're going to win 23-21. What do you think?
I was saying earlier, I said 27-21.
Okay.
I think that
for the Vikings? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think the Packers. I think the defense is going to step up a little bit. I feel like, but I think that every week where the defense is going to step up because there's so much pressure, so much trash talk, so much. Not that I think that they pay attention too much to what we say, but they hear like the overall. They're not listening to podcasts, especially not this one. But like they're not listening to the individual podcasts, but they're hearing like the roar. The media's talking about, everyone's talking about how they're struggling, and they know they don't need people to tell them. They, the worst team in the league, they put up 30 on them. So I expect them to step up. Everyone's saying that this rookie's gonna just, every quarterback, they're like, he's gonna have a career game. Well, obviously, no matter what, it's his first start. He's got 100 yards, and he's played 2 games. he started 1 game technically, but he was out right away. So like he hasn't hit. I don't know how many snaps he's got, but he's got a handful of snaps. Like, he's obviously, no matter what he does, it's a career game because he hasn't done anything. But
don't you think the Vikings were stupid for announcing that so early?
Like, I thought so.
Why wouldn't you announce that on Saturday?
Yeah, like Amari Cooper, they announced that 30 minutes before the game started. I wasn't paying attention. He started, and he screwed me. I feel like he should have limped out there. Should have got it done.
Yeah, I know the Vikings were so dumb there, right? Like, I just don't get it. It's like, why tell the team 3 days before so they can prepare?
I don't know what they could prepare differently though, because they probably like it's one trash quarterback or another trash. I mean, I wouldn't say trash, but young, because you can't call him trash.
Well,
He hasn't.
Mullins is experienced. He's got the veteran stuff, and
Yeah.
they've got lots of
So
tape on him, right? Where they don't have lots of tape on Hall. So
yeah, so they would have been preparing the other way, and now they're like, now we don't know what to do because they can watch a little bit the 7 snaps he had or whatever he did. But with the young quarterback, you don't know, and a lot of times, like not just this year, but like even Eli Manning played the Packers way back when he sucked. I think he had a pretty decent game against the Packers. I don't remember that game exactly, but I know that these young quarterbacks a lot of times they'll jump up a game or here or there. Hopefully, it's not here. Put it over there. You know what I mean? They need to win this game. I know that you got to get going though. You got to go pick up your daughter. But
yeah, she just messaged me that she works at a restaurant, and they just said that she's done her shift early, so I got to run.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I just really enjoy talking football and Packers football with you. And I want you to know that I really hope that you smoke that guy in fantasy football, that you're the champion after this weekend, man.
Yeah, I still got faith. I still got faith that I can get it done. We got some guys out there. We still got some guys out here. I appreciate you joining me over here. We still got a little bit to go here. I got some more stuff to talk about, but we'll get you on again soon.
Yes, absolutely. And have a good night, man.
All right, have a good one, man. All right, everyone, be sure to check out Mr. RevTrev on Kemper Sports. He's on YouTube. He's on all over the place. He's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. He's everywhere. But I still want to talk about a little bit about this Jordan Love hype that everyone's talking about. All right, so I got my man Matt Guyette over on Facebook. Anytime I post about Jordan Love, he's talking about Jordan over Love hyped. I want to talk about these numbers right here. Jordan Love needs just 251 yards and a touchdown to officially have more yards and touchdowns in a single season than any quarterback in Chicago Bears history. You hear what I'm saying? Jordan Love, in his very first season, has the opportunity, and he will do this. He only needs 251 yards and a touchdown to have a better season than any quarterback in Chicago Bears history. So all these Bears fans who've been talking this whole offseason that before the season started, Justin Fields is going to be MVP. And this is not a trash Justin Fields situation because I don't hate Justin Fields. He plays for the Bears, so you know what I mean? I got to do what I got to do. But I got no hate for Justin Fields. He seems like a good dude. I think he's very athletic. He's on the wrong team. If he played for like the Seahawks, I could mess with him, especially if it was an AFC team. I could mess with him. But he plays for the Bears, and this is the situation we're in. But the reality is, all these Bear fans who've been talking all that smack, Jordan Love is about to have a better stat line in his first season as a Green Bay Packers starting quarterback than any Chicago Bear in their history. And you had Jim McMahon, but that was back in the 80s. I got much respect for McMahon. He was a tough quarterback. He played in the 85 Bears team. They had that ferocious defense, and he was just as ferocious. He was a bad man. I'm not just saying that because he follows me over on the Twitter. You know what I mean? I think that Jim McMahon was that guy. But then Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler would sling that thing around a little bit. You know what I mean? They had some quarterbacks, but they're not known for the quarterbacks. They don't know how to coach up their quarterbacks. The Bears it doesn't matter. I feel like it doesn't matter who the quarterback is in Chicago. They're not going to be successful. And then Jordan Love in his very first season, triumphing over all of them. 100 and some years the Bears have been in existence. And Jordan Love, his very first season, is going to be better than all of them, at least as a single season standpoint. You know what I mean? So Bear fans, when you're talking about Jordan Love, maybe put some respect on that. You know what I mean? Put some respect on that name. All right, so let's keep it moving over here. We're going to talk about Allen Lazard. A lot of people talking about over here on Twitter, Allen Lazard. If he's released from New York, do the Packers want him? First of all, no. All right? I do not want him. I do not want Allen Lazard back on the Packers. He didn't want to be here. He chose New York, and I just don't think there's any room on the Packers. I got no hate for Allen Lazard. I think he's a great blocking wide receiver, good dude. But he's not needed. There's not any room. The Packers have some nice, good, young wide receivers. I don't think that there's any room for for Allen Lazard. I don't care what the money is. I don't think that Allen Lazard, he might be a good guy to have around in case some injuries pop off, but I don't think so. I wish him the best, but I don't want Allen Lazard. I'm not that I don't want him. I just don't think that the Packers need him. And we'll see what happens with the Jets next year when Aaron Rodgers come back. I think he's running the show over there, so he'll decide where Allen Lazard is. You know what I mean? He'll decide with Allen Lazard on the New York Jets. You know what I mean? But yeah. So another thing when I talk about the Packers offense, I kind of touched on it with him. So I'm not going to go too in depth because I have it over here on my list. But kind of touched on it. I think this Packers offense is going to be brutal. I think this is going to be a great offense from years to come. Like next season, no matter what happens this season, I really don't care. I mean, I want them to go to the playoffs and be rooting for them to go to the playoffs. But even if it doesn't happen, I'm excited about this offense. And obviously the defense, we don't think Joe Barry is going to be back next year. We're going to get a new defense coordinator. I feel like we got some players over there on defense. But this young offense, I'm excited about. This receiving group, Reed, got Wicks. Christian Watson's been struggling with an injury, but I think that this offense next season is going to be a tough offense. Richard Sherman said that no one's fearing this Packers team. I think that I've been trolling him a little bit on the Twitter. It's been fun. He actually responded to me, but next year I'm going to get back at him because I think that this team is going to be a team that the people fear next season. And we'll see how this season ends. I'm not giving up on it by any means. But I think next season, this team is going to be a team that people fear. It's going to be great. You know what I mean? And as far as, we're talking about fantasy football. I know no one cares about fantasy football. Let me talk. Give me 1 minute to talk about fantasy football. I started Amari Cooper, bro. He was benched, or not benched, but he was sidelined with an injury. 30 minutes. He was questionable. 30 minutes before the game. And I didn't see it. I was doing some stuff around the house. And I didn't see it, so I'm probably gonna lose. But I got, even if I get second place, which I'm not giving up, I don't have no quit in me. But even if I get second place, I haven't played fantasy football in like 10, 12 years, something like that. First year, I'm in the championship game. We're having a good time, but we'll see what happens. You never know how these games go. He's got Justin Jefferson. He's got Dak Prescott. He's got a good team over there. So we're gonna see how that game goes. But big shout out to everyone who tunes into this thing. We're gonna wrap this thing up. But I got some big news possibly coming really quick, and I can't say it yet, but some good things are happening. I really appreciate everyone who listens. You listen on the podcast. I appreciate you. People who watch on YouTube, watch on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. All the things. Every like, every comment, every share you guys do really helps me out a lot. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, subscribe in all the places, follow in all the places, and it means a lot to me that you guys rock with me. And you make all these things possible. The Quick Trip sponsor your show, possibly another sponsor coming up here. All that is possible by the people who rock with me, and I truly appreciate it. I never will not. And I'm going to do some giveaways over here on the podcast for some merch. Go to themattramage.com. We got a lot of merch over there. We got beer glasses, we got shirts, we got hoodies, we got all the things. I'm going to start doing a bunch of giveaways. Both here on the podcast and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the places that you can do giveaways. And just to say thank you for everyone who rocks with me. But we're going to get out of this thing. I appreciate you. Go Pack, go. Let's go. This season ain't done. Let's go into Minnesota and beat that butt. You know what I mean? Then we got Chicago at the last game of the season at Lambeau Field. I'm probably going to be at that game. We're going to find out. You know what I mean? But go Pack, go, people. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You are all the best. And a big shout out to RevTrev over at Kemper Sports. Be sure to check him out on YouTube. He does a great job. Talks about a lot of different stuff, even hockey a little bit. I think he's got some hockey stuff over there. Check out RevTrev over on YouTube and on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere at Kemper Sports. All right, go Pack, go. We out of this thing, people. I appreciate you.